13 things you need to know to live a happy life. Stoicism. Have you ever felt like happiness is just out of reach, no matter how much you achieve or acquire? In a world obsessed with chasing goals and keeping up appearances, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But here's the truth. Happiness isn't in the next promotion, the latest gadget, or the approval of others. It's in the way you live, think, and connect with the present moment. On Stoic in Your Life, we're cutting through the noise to uncover 13 timeless lessons from Stoicism that can transform your life. These aren't just ancient ideas. They're practical, powerful tools to help you find joy and peace in today's chaotic world. From embracing gratitude to mastering resilience, these principles hold the key to a fulfilled life. So, if you're ready to stop searching for happiness and start living it, stick with us. Let's rediscover how to thrive, not just survive. Ready to begin? Let's dive in. 1. Laugh more. Have you ever stopped to think about how transformative a simple laugh can be? Laughter is far more than just a fleeting moment of joy. It is a powerful tool for enhancing your well-being, both physically and emotionally. When you laugh, your body produces endorphins, those wonderful feel-good chemicals that elevate your mood, reduce stress, and can even alleviate pain. It's as if laughter is nature's therapy, available to us at any time, completely free of charge. But here's the thing. It doesn't just make you feel good in the moment. Over time, it can improve your overall health, boost your immune system, and foster a deeper sense of connection with those around you. Now, while the Stoics are often associated with their focus on discipline, self-control, and resilience in the face of hardship, they also understood the importance of humor and the role it plays in a balanced life. Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, two of the most famous Stoic philosophers, often spoke about the power of perspective. Both recognized that, while we can't control the world around us, we have the ability to control how we respond to it. By choosing to see the humor in life's challenges, you can shift your mindset and lighten the emotional burden of difficult situations. This is a deeply Stoic approach. By practicing humor, you let go of what is out of your control and focus on the joy and serenity that still exists, even in the most trying moments. The benefits of laughter go beyond just feeling good in the moment. Research has shown that laughter can reduce the production of cortisol, the hormone associated with stress, while simultaneously boosting the immune system and even improving sleep. It's like hitting a reset button for your mind and body. In fact, studies suggest that people who incorporate laughter into their daily lives tend to have lower stress levels, higher levels of happiness, and greater resilience in the face of adversity. This, in many ways, is what the Stoics advocated: developing inner strength and peace, not by avoiding challenges but by facing them with the right mindset. Laughter in this sense is not just a reaction to joy but a proactive strategy for maintaining equilibrium in the face of life's inevitable difficulties. So, how can you bring more laughter into your life, especially during times of stress or difficulty? It doesn't require grand changes or dramatic shifts in perspective. It can start with small, intentional choices. Surround yourself with people who bring out your laughter, those who know how to lighten your mood with their humor, and who remind you not to take life too seriously. Watch a comedy that makes you laugh out loud, or read something that tickles your funny bone. In a world that often feels too serious and heavy, make space for lightheartedness. But perhaps most importantly, learn to laugh at yourself. When things go wrong, when you make a mistake, or when life doesn't go according to plan, remind yourself that these are not failures. They are simply moments that add to the absurdity and humor of life. When you can laugh at your own missteps, you release the grip that shame and frustration can have over you, allowing you to move forward with greater ease. Imagine, for a moment, a day where you laugh often, not because everything is perfect, but because you've learned to find humor in the mess of life. You laugh at the little setbacks, at the things you can't control, and even at the absurdity of trying to control everything. That's the Stoic way of seeing the world, not to avoid challenges, but to embrace them with a sense of humor and perspective. As the old saying goes, laughter is the best medicine, and the Stoics would certainly agree. When you can laugh at life's difficulties, you don't diminish them, you elevate yourself, lightening your load and transforming your experience. This is the power of laughter. It is not just a reaction to joy, but a tool for living a happier, healthier, and more peaceful life. Take a moment today to laugh, really laugh, and let it remind you that life, while challenging at times, is also filled with opportunities for joy. The Stoics teach us that by controlling our responses and perspectives, we can live a life of greater peace, wisdom, and yes, laughter. 2. Get outside and connect with nature. Have you ever stopped to think about how disconnected we've become from the natural world? In today's fast-paced, screen-filled lives, we often forget that we're part of nature, not separate from it. We wake up indoors, work indoors, and wind down indoors, surrounded by artificial lighting and constant digital noise. Yet deep down, don't you feel the pull of something more, something grounding and real? The truth is, reconnecting with nature isn't just a nice idea. It's essential for your happiness and well-being. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with nature, and modern science backs up just how transformative this connection can be. Next, just 20 minutes a day outside in a natural setting can reduce your stress hormone levels, improve your mood, and sharpen your creativity. Think about that. 20 minutes, that's less than a lunch break, can have a more profound impact on your mental health than scrolling through social media or binge-watching your favorite show. Studies from institutions like Stanford University have shown that walking in nature reduces rumination, those repetitive negative thoughts that often spiral into anxiety and depression. The Stoics would say this aligns perfectly with their teachings of focusing on what you can control and letting go of unnecessary worry. Doesn't it make sense to give your mind and body this gift? Modern life seems designed to keep us away from nature. We live in cities filled with concrete and chaos, and the idea of getting back to nature can feel out of reach. Yet reconnecting with the natural world doesn't require a trip to the mountains or a week-long retreat in the woods, though those are wonderful too. It starts with small, intentional steps. Open your window and let the sunlight and fresh air fill your room. Take a walk around your block and notice the trees, the sky, the birds. Sit on a park bench and just be present. The Stoics taught us that nature is the ultimate teacher. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." When you spend time in nature, you begin to see this truth in action. The rhythm of the seasons, the resilience of trees, the flow of a river, all these things remind us that life has its own pace, and trying to control everything is not only futile, but exhausting. Standing beneath a towering tree that has weathered storms for centuries can put your daily stresses into perspective. It teaches patience, humility, and resilience, qualities the Stoics championed as essential for a happy life. And what about the physical benefits? Walking outdoors, especially in green spaces, can lower blood pressure, improve immune function, and even reduce chronic pain. The practice of forest bathing, or spending mindful time in a wooded area, has gained popularity for its proven health benefits. But even if you don't have access to a forest, you can still reap these rewards. Find a patch of grass, a garden, or even a small balcony filled with plants. The key is to engage your senses, feel the ground beneath your feet, listen to the sounds of nature, and breathe deeply. Doesn't that sound like a welcome escape from the noise of everyday life? Here's a question to consider. When was the last time you felt truly connected to the natural world? Not just walking through it while thinking about your to-do list, but really being present with it. The Stoics believed that this connection is more than just a moment of peace. It's a reminder of your place in the grand scheme of things. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Nature has a way of pulling us out of our heads and grounding us in the present moment. How often do you let yourself experience that kind of grounding? If you're feeling overwhelmed by the demands of modern life, remember this: nature is always there, waiting for you. It doesn't require anything fancy or expensive, just your presence. Start small. Set aside a few minutes each day to step outside and let nature remind you of its wisdom. Notice the way sunlight filters through the trees, the sound of leaves rustling in the wind, or the feel of grass beneath your feet. These little moments can bring clarity and calm in a way nothing else can. The more time you spend in nature, the more you'll begin to crave it. You'll start noticing details you never saw before: the intricate patterns on leaves, the subtle shifts in the seasons, the way the world feels alive and interconnected. These aren't just observations. They're lessons. Lessons about patience, resilience, and acceptance. Isn't it fascinating how nature mirrors the Stoic virtues we strive to embody? It shows us how to adapt, how to let go of what we can't control, and how to find balance amidst the chaos. Connecting with nature isn't just a nice to have, it's a need to have. The Stoics knew this, and now modern science confirms it. By stepping outside and immersing yourself in the natural world, you're not just improving your mood or lowering your stress, you're aligning yourself with the rhythm of life itself. So, as you feel the weight of the world pressing down on you, remember, the solution might be as simple as stepping outside. As the Stoics would remind us, live in harmony with nature, and you will discover a profound sense of peace and happiness. What are you waiting for? The world is right outside your door. 3. Be a morning person. Mornings often carry a reputation for being rough, dreaded, and full of groggy protests against the sound of an alarm clock. For many, the warmth of the bed and the temptation of just 5 more minutes are irresistible. And who can blame them? Modern habits like late-night Netflix binges or endless scrolling through social media have conditioned us to stretch our nights and begrudge our mornings. But let me ask you, what if the key to living a happier, healthier, and more intentional life lies in how you start your day? Waking up early, often dismissed as a habit for morning people, is not just about discipline, it's a pathway to purpose, energy, and balance. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, said it best. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. He wasn't just talking about a job or obligations. He was pointing to a deeper calling, a reminder that mornings are an opportunity to embrace your purpose and align with your potential. Science agrees with the Stoics on this. Research consistently shows that early risers tend to be more optimistic, proactive, and resilient to stress. A study by the University of Toronto found that people who wake up earlier report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction, along with better physical health. How does this happen? It starts with the control you reclaim when you rise before the world stirs. Early mornings provide you with uninterrupted time to breathe, think, and act without the distractions of emails, meetings, or the noise of daily life. This time becomes a sanctuary for reflection and preparation, allowing you to set intentions and build momentum for the day ahead. As the Stoics might put it, mornings allow you to prepare for life's challenges with clarity and calm, rather than reacting in a haze of urgency. Waking up early doesn't just grant you time, it aligns you with your body's natural rhythm, the circadian cycle that dictates our energy and sleep patterns. By rising with the sun and honoring this biological clock, you improve your sleep quality, boost your energy, and reduce the grogginess that stems from misaligned schedules. This harmony with nature, a principle deeply rooted in Stoicism, reflects Marcus Aurelius's belief that everything that happens is as natural as the roses in spring and the fruit in summer. When we live in sync with these rhythms, we feel more grounded and balanced. Now, let's address the inevitable resistance. I'm not a morning person. The truth is, waking up early isn't about being born with a predisposition for mornings. It's a habit that anyone can build. Start small. Go to bed 15 minutes earlier and wake up 15 minutes earlier than usual. Gradually shift your schedule until waking early feels natural. Once it becomes a routine, you'll discover the quiet magic of mornings, the soft light of dawn, the stillness before the world stirs, and the clarity that comes with being present in those early hours. It's in this space that you can exercise, meditate, journal, or simply sip coffee while gathering your thoughts. Seneca, another Stoic luminary, said, "The mind must be given relaxation. It will rise improved and sharper after a good break." Mornings offer this exact opportunity, a chance to refresh your mind and start the day with intention. But here's the beauty of mornings. They're yours to design. Use them for what matters most to you. Whether it's pursuing a passion project, planning your day, or even enjoying the simple pleasures of a leisurely breakfast, mornings give you time that often gets swallowed by the demands of the day. Having something to look forward to in the morning, no matter how small, can make the process of getting up early feel rewarding instead of punishing. It might be the quiet of a neighborhood walk, the joy of reading a few pages from a favorite book, or even the satisfaction of starting work ahead of schedule. Each morning becomes a gift, a fresh page to write your story. The transition to being a morning person isn't without its challenges. At first, you might feel sluggish or tempted to hit snooze. That's normal, but stick with it. Over time, your body will adjust, and the benefits will far outweigh the initial discomfort. You'll find that your mornings set a positive tone for the rest of your day, creating a ripple effect that touches every part of your life. Tasks feel less overwhelming, stress becomes more manageable, and you'll approach challenges with a clear mind. You're not just reacting to the chaos of life, you're leading it with intention and purpose. And let's not overlook the practical advantages of rising early. When you wake before the rush, you gain the upper hand on the day. You have time to prioritize, plan, and even tackle unforeseen issues before they snowball. It's empowering to feel ahead of the game rather than perpetually playing catch-up. This proactive mindset is deeply Stoic. It's about controlling what you can and preparing for what you can't. As Epictetus famously advised, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Becoming a morning person isn't about perfection or adhering to a rigid schedule. It's about carving out space for what truly matters, for the things that bring you joy, clarity, and fulfillment. It's about stepping into each day with purpose, armed with the tools to navigate life's challenges. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm goes off, resist the urge to hit snooze. Instead, rise with the resolve of a Stoic and embrace the quiet promise of the morning. In these early hours, you'll find not just the start of a day, but the beginning of a better, more intentional life. You've unlocked the power of Stoicism by making it to the end of this video. Let us know in the comments by writing, "Stoicism is my guide," and share which lesson resonated with you most. Don't stop now. There's more wisdom waiting for you in our upcoming videos. 4. Pack your days with plans. Have you ever paused to consider how differently time seems to flow depending on how we spend it? Some days feel endless, dragging on with no clear direction, while others fly by, leaving us with a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment. The secret lies in how intentionally we choose to structure our time. It's not about cramming every hour with tasks or staying busy for the sake of being busy. Instead, it's about packing your days with meaningful plans that align with your values and goals. The Stoics, masters of practical wisdom, understood this deeply. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once observed, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." In our fast-paced modern world, it's all too easy to let our days slip by in a blur of distractions. But the key to a fulfilling life is to approach each day with purpose and intention. Think of your time as a precious resource, like money in a bank account. Each day you're granted a finite number of hours, and how you spend them determines the quality of your life. Some people save their time by doing nothing, thinking they're conserving energy. But in reality, unspent time often feels wasted. The Stoics would urge us to spend our time wisely, on activities that enrich our minds, strengthen our bodies, and deepen our connections with others. Research supports this idea, showing that people who plan their days with purpose feel more satisfied and in control of their lives. A study in the Journal of Experimental Psychology found that goal setting and daily planning significantly increase happiness because having a plan gives us direction and helps us focus on what truly matters. But let's be clear, this isn't about rigid schedules or endless to-do lists. Life isn't meant to be lived as a checklist, and overloading yourself can lead to burnout. Instead, consider your plans as a framework for living intentionally. What activities bring you joy? What tasks align with your goals and values? When you answer these questions, you'll start to see how your time can be spent in ways that make you feel alive and purposeful. The Stoics believed in this balance of discipline and spontaneity, teaching us to seize each day without being overwhelmed by it. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "At day's first light, have in readiness against disinclination to leave your bed the thought that I am rising for the work of man." This is a call to rise with purpose and make the most of each day. In this story, Tom, a busy professional in his mid-40s, found himself stuck in a cycle of unproductive weekends. His Saturdays often began with good intentions, but without a clear plan, the day would slip away in mindless activities like scrolling through social media or watching TV. By Sunday night, he'd feel unfulfilled, wondering where his weekend had gone. One day, inspired by a book on Stoicism, Tom decided to start packing his weekends with purposeful plans. He scheduled a morning walk to reflect, set aside time to call an old friend, and blocked an hour to work on a hobby he'd neglected. The result? Tom found himself more energized and fulfilled, realizing that his weekends now felt richer and more meaningful, not because he was busier, but because he was more intentional. The beauty of packing your days with plans is that it doesn't require drastic changes. Start small, break your day into chunks and assign each a purpose. For example, dedicate your mornings to high-focus tasks when your mind is sharp, reserve afternoons for creative or social activities, and use evenings to relax and reflect. By structuring your day this way, you'll create a rhythm that allows you to balance productivity with enjoyment. Remember, it's not about cramming every moment, but about filling your time with what truly matters. Even small intentional actions, like taking a 10-minute walk, journaling your thoughts, or preparing a healthy meal, can transform how you feel about your day. And don't forget to leave room for spontaneity and flexibility. Life rarely goes exactly as planned, and the Stoics remind us to adapt to the unexpected. If your plans are disrupted, don't see it as a failure. Instead, adjust and focus on what you can control. This mindset not only reduces stress but also keeps you moving forward. As Epictetus wisely said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. So, how do you begin packing your days with purpose? Start by reflecting on what truly matters to you. What brings you joy, fulfillment, and growth? Is it spending time with loved ones, learning a new skill, exercising, or giving back to your community? Once you've identified these priorities, make them non-negotiable parts of your schedule. Write them down and treat them with the same importance as a work meeting or doctor's appointment. The act of committing your plans to paper, or even your smartphone's calendar, makes them real and harder to ignore. As you incorporate these purposeful plans into your life, you'll notice a shift. Days that once felt aimless will become opportunities for growth and connection. You'll begin to feel a sense of control over your time, and more importantly, over your life. And when the unexpected happens, you'll be prepared to adapt with grace, knowing that your purpose isn't tied to a rigid schedule, but to how you choose to approach each moment. At the end of the day, time is the one resource we can never get back. How you spend it defines the quality of your life. Use your time wisely, pack your days with plans that align with your purpose, and watch as your life becomes richer, fuller, and infinitely more rewarding. 5. Don't quit on what you love. How often have you felt like quitting something you once loved because it started to feel hard? Maybe it was a hobby that brought you joy, a project you were excited about, or even a career path you once believed was your calling. Life happens, obstacles arise, motivation wanes, and distractions creep in, making it tempting to walk away. When you quit on something you love, you're not just giving up on the activity, you're walking away from a profound source of fulfillment and happiness. The Stoics believed that perseverance, especially in the face of difficulty, was essential for a meaningful life. As Seneca wisely said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare that things are difficult." The things that challenge us the most are often the ones that make us grow. The truth is, we often quit because we're discouraged. Maybe you've hit a plateau, or maybe you've convinced yourself that progress is too slow to be worth the effort. We live in a world that glorifies instant gratification, so it's easy to feel like you're failing when results don't come quickly. But let me ask you this. Have you ever stuck with something despite the difficulty and felt proud of what you achieved? Perhaps you learned an instrument, trained for a marathon, or built something with your own hands. Reflecting on those moments, you'll realize that the struggle wasn't just worthwhile, it was transformative. Perseverance teaches us patience, resilience, and self-discipline, qualities that are essential not just for success, but for leading a fulfilled life. Science supports this idea. Studies in the Journal of Positive Psychology reveal that pursuing passion-driven activities enhances well-being, reduces stress, and strengthens our sense of purpose. Engaging in what you love activates intrinsic motivation, the kind that fuels you because of the joy and meaning it brings, not because of external rewards or recognition. Yet many of us fall into the trap of believing that if something is difficult, it's not worth pursuing. The Stoics would challenge this mindset. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Obstacles aren't reasons to quit, they're opportunities to grow. Every challenge you face in pursuing what you love is a stepping stone toward becoming more capable and resilient. When the road gets tough, start by reconnecting with your why. Why did you fall in love with this pursuit in the first place? What was it about this hobby, career, or passion that lit you up inside? Recalling that initial excitement can reignite your motivation. Often, we lose sight of the bigger picture, bogged down by the frustrations of the moment. But when you remember the joy and purpose that this pursuit brings, it becomes easier to push through the hard times. Progress may be slow or invisible at first, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. The Stoics believed in focusing on the process rather than the outcome, a principle that can help you stay grounded. You may not control how quickly you improve, but you can control your effort and commitment. Think of this journey like planting a tree. In the early days, there's little to see above ground, but below the surface, roots are spreading and creating a foundation. The same is true for your passions. The effort you put in today, even if it doesn't yield immediate results, is laying the groundwork for future success. Keep nurturing your passion, and one day, you'll see the growth you've been working toward. And if you're feeling overwhelmed by the scale of the challenge, break it down into smaller, manageable parts. Instead of focusing on the finish line, ask yourself, what's one small step I can take today? Whether it's practicing for 10 minutes, writing a single page, or completing one small task, these little wins build momentum and keep you moving forward. At times, quitting might seem like the easier option. You're tired, frustrated, or feeling like you're not cut out for the task. But before you give up, ask yourself if you'll regret walking away. Chances are the answer is yes. Passions have a way of staying with us, even if we abandon them. If you quit now, you may look back with a sense of what could have been. The Stoics would remind you that regret is far more burdensome than the discomfort of persevering through tough moments. Instead of quitting, learn to adapt. If one approach isn't working, try another. Flexibility is a strength, not a weakness, and it's a mindset that keeps you engaged with what matters. The Stoics also taught us to find gratitude in the ability to pursue our passions. Not everyone has the freedom or opportunity to do what they love, and if you do, it's worth cherishing. Remember, life isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about embracing them and growing through them. Seneca reminds us, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Every hurdle you face is refining your character and sharpening your skills, making you more resilient for whatever comes next. Sticking with what you love is a commitment to yourself. It's a declaration that your happiness and growth are worth the effort. Whether it's pursuing a creative passion, deepening a relationship, or chasing a dream, don't give up just because the path is difficult. Challenges are not signs to stop. They're invitations to dig deeper. As you persevere, you'll find not only fulfillment but also a deeper sense of purpose and strength. 6. Go for kindness. In a world that often feels rushed, disconnected, and consumed by personal concerns, kindness can seem like a lost art. Yet, it remains one of the most powerful tools for transforming not only the lives of others, but also your own. The Stoics understood this deeply, teaching that while we cannot control the behavior of others, we can always control how we respond. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, reminded us that kindness is invincible, but only when it's sincere, with no hypocrisy or faking. This timeless wisdom emphasizes that true kindness is not about appearances or grand gestures. It's about genuinely approaching life with a desire to be a force for good. When you choose kindness, you reclaim control over how you interact with the world, and no external negativity can take that strength away from you. Kindness is far more impactful than we often realize, and its effects ripple far beyond the initial act. Have you ever noticed how a simple smile, compliment, or helpful gesture can lift someone's mood? This isn't mere coincidence. It's the kindness contagion effect at work. Acts of kindness create a chain reaction, inspiring others to pay it forward. Research from UCLA has shown that both giving and receiving kindness have measurable benefits, from reducing stress and improving mood to enhancing physical health. By engaging in kind acts, you not only help others but also create a profound sense of connection and fulfillment for yourself. The Stoics would argue that this aligns perfectly with our nature as social beings. As Epictetus said, "We are all brothers and sisters by nature. Our bodies and souls are bound together by a shared divine spark. When we act with kindness, we honor this universal bond and remind ourselves of our shared humanity." The beauty of kindness lies in its simplicity and accessibility. Unlike wealth, status, or physical attributes, kindness is something everyone can practice. Small, intentional acts, like holding the door open for someone, offering a kind word, or simply listening without judgment, carry immense power. The Stoics believed that kindness is not a luxury, but a responsibility, part of our duty as members of the global community. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." This profound statement reminds us that every interaction, no matter how mundane, holds the potential to uplift and inspire. Kindness also serves as a powerful antidote to the frustrations of daily life. Think about the last time someone upset you. Perhaps they cut you off in traffic, spoke rudely, or ignored your efforts. Your initial reaction might have been anger or resentment, but what if instead you chose kindness? The Stoics taught that we cannot control others' actions, only our responses. By responding with patience and understanding, you diffuse tension and maintain your own peace of mind. Kindness in these moments isn't about condoning bad behavior. It's about choosing how you wish to show up in the world. As Marcus Aurelius observed, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Developing a habit of kindness starts with mindfulness. In the rush of modern life, it's easy to overlook opportunities to help or connect with others. By slowing down and becoming more aware of your surroundings, you'll start to see countless moments where a small gesture can make a big difference. Maybe it's helping a neighbor with groceries, sending a thoughtful text to a friend, or thanking a colleague for their efforts. These acts don't require much time or effort, but their impact can be profound. Over time, practicing kindness becomes second nature, and you'll find yourself seeking out opportunities to uplift those around you. Science supports what the Stoics have always known. Kindness benefits the giver as much as the receiver. Acts of kindness stimulate the release of oxytocin, often called the love hormone, which lowers blood pressure, reduces stress, and promotes feelings of connection and warmth. This creates a positive feedback loop. The more kind acts you perform, the better you feel, and the more likely you are to continue spreading kindness. In this way, kindness not only enriches the lives of others, but also enhances your own well-being, creating a life filled with meaning and joy. Kindness is also deeply intertwined with gratitude, another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. When you practice kindness, you acknowledge and appreciate the good in your own life, recognizing that you have something to give. This perspective fosters a sense of abundance and shifts your focus from what you lack to what you can share. Seneca beautifully captured this idea when he said, "The wise man is self-sufficient, but he chooses to share his resources with others, not for his own benefit, but for the benefit of those he aids." Through acts of kindness, we cultivate gratitude and remind ourselves of the interconnectedness of all people. Of course, being kind doesn't mean being a pushover or tolerating mistreatment. The Stoics were clear about the importance of maintaining boundaries and standing up for what is right. True kindness comes from a place of strength and integrity. It's about offering compassion without expecting anything in return. When you act with genuine kindness, you align with your values and reinforce your own sense of agency. As Epictetus taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. Kindness, practiced with sincerity, is an expression of that mastery. In today's often harsh and divisive world, kindness is a revolutionary act. It's a way to push back against negativity and create a ripple of positivity that benefits everyone it touches. By choosing kindness, you reclaim your power to shape the world around you and foster connections that enrich your life. Each kind act is a step toward a more fulfilling existence, grounded in the Stoic lessons of resilience, gratitude, and shared humanity. As Marcus Aurelius so eloquently stated, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love, and to be kind." 7. Say yes more often. How often do you catch yourself saying no to life's invitations, dismissing opportunities without a second thought because they seem inconvenient, challenging, or simply outside your comfort zone? It's easy to settle into routines, turning down new experiences because they push us into the unfamiliar. Perhaps you've passed on a party invitation, worried you'd feel out of place, or declined a work project because it seemed too demanding. While setting boundaries is important, habitually saying no might be shutting the door on experiences that could bring joy, personal growth, and unexpected adventure into your life. The Stoics understood this all too well. They believed life should be embraced fully and that stepping into the unknown often leads to the most profound growth. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This reminder captures the essence of saying yes, not as blind agreement to everything, but as a conscious choice to be open to life's possibilities and challenges. Why is it so hard to say yes? For many, it's the discomfort of stepping away from what's predictable and safe. We cling to routines because they offer a sense of control, even if they limit our growth. But the truth is, growth rarely happens in the comfort zone. The Stoics taught that discomfort is a natural and necessary part of life, something to be embraced rather than avoided. By saying yes more often, you create space for new experiences that can stretch your abilities, broaden your perspectives, and even lead to unexpected happiness. Think back to a time when you said no to something that made you a little uneasy. Maybe an invitation to try a new hobby, attend an event, or take on a challenge at work. Science backs up this idea. Studies show that trying new things activates dopamine in the brain, the chemical linked to pleasure, motivation, and reward. When you say yes to novel experiences, you're not only expanding your horizons, but also boosting your mental and emotional well-being. Research reveals that embracing new opportunities can make you feel happier and more fulfilled by fostering a sense of curiosity and adventure. The Stoics believed in cultivating a mindset of openness and curiosity, as reflected in Marcus Aurelius's words. Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. By saying yes, you tap into that inner reservoir of strength and discover capabilities you didn't realize you had. Saying yes can also strengthen your relationships. Think about how often you've turned down an invitation from a friend or family member, not out of malice, but because you were too tired, busy, or simply uninterested. While it's okay to prioritize self-care, consistently saying no can create emotional distance. Relationships thrive on shared experiences, and by saying yes to spending time with loved ones, you deepen your bonds and create memories that last. Imagine your best friend invites you to a gathering where you don't know anyone. Your initial reaction might be to decline, dreading the awkwardness of small talk with strangers. But by saying yes, you might meet someone who shares your interests, enjoy a lively conversation, or simply strengthen your connection with your friend. The reward of saying yes often outweighs the temporary discomfort of stepping out of your bubble. The workplace offers another arena where saying yes can make a significant impact. Maybe you've been asked to lead a challenging project or learn a new skill, but you hesitate because it feels daunting. The Stoics would encourage you to embrace such challenges, viewing them as opportunities for growth. Epictetus wisely observed, "Difficulties are things that show a person what they are." When you say yes to professional challenges, you're not only expanding your skill set but also proving to yourself that you can rise to the occasion. Even if the outcome isn't perfect, the effort itself fosters resilience and confidence. Of course, saying yes doesn't guarantee success or comfort. Sometimes trying something new can lead to failure or awkwardness. But as the Stoics remind us, it's not the outcome that defines us. It's the courage to engage with life. By saying yes, you demonstrate a willingness to face uncertainty, adapt to change, and learn from whatever unfolds. This mindset doesn't just make life more interesting, it also builds inner strength. Over time, the habit of saying yes more often fosters confidence, helping you approach life with curiosity rather than hesitation. There's a balance to be struck here. Saying yes doesn't mean overcommitting or disregarding your own needs. Boundaries are crucial, and it's okay to decline opportunities that don't align with your values or priorities. But if you find that fear, laziness, or inertia are behind your refusals, it might be time to reevaluate. The Stoics believed in living with intention and courage, and that includes being open to the unfamiliar. Marcus Aurelius urged us to embrace whatever happens and adapt to it, a reminder that life's richness comes from engaging with it fully, even when it challenges us. Saying yes more often also builds a mindset of gratitude and abundance. Each new experience, even the small ones, reinforces the idea that life is full of opportunities to grow and connect. Think of the everyday moments you might be overlooking: a colleague's invitation to lunch, a friend's suggestion to try a new hobby, or even the chance to learn something new online. Each yes is a step toward a fuller, more connected life, one where you're an active participant rather than a passive observer. At its core, saying yes more often is about living with an open heart and mind. It's about trusting that even the most unfamiliar or uncomfortable experiences hold value, whether they bring joy, teach lessons, or simply remind us of our resilience. The Stoics believed that life was meant to be lived fully, not cautiously avoided. As Marcus Aurelius reflected, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Embrace that privilege by saying yes to the unknown, and you'll find that life becomes richer, more adventurous, and infinitely more fulfilling. 8. Turn off your phone sometimes. How often do you find yourself tethered to your phone, mindlessly scrolling through social media, checking emails, or swiping through notifications? In today's hyper-connected world, our phones have become more than just tools. They've become extensions of our lives. But what happens when we allow them to dominate our time and attention? Hours slip away, and the moments that matter most, connecting with loved ones, appreciating the world around us, or simply being present, get lost in the endless loop of distractions. The Stoics may not have had smartphones, but they understood the dangers of distraction. Seneca wisely noted, "He who is everywhere is nowhere," reminding us that divided attention leads to a life only half lived. The simple yet powerful act of turning off your phone can help you reclaim your time, your focus, and your peace of mind. Why is it so hard to disconnect? For many of us, our phones have become a source of comfort, validation, and entertainment. They fill the silence and distract us from the discomfort of being alone with our thoughts. But the constant flood of information and notifications doesn't just distract, it overwhelms. Studies published in the Journal of Behavioral Addictions reveal that excessive phone use can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and a diminished ability to concentrate. The very devices meant to connect us often leave us feeling disconnected from ourselves and the world around us. The Stoics understood this paradox long before the digital age. They believed in the power of focus and presence, teaching that distractions pull us away from what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By turning off your phone, even for a short while, you take a crucial step toward reclaiming that power. Think about the last time you put your phone away and fully immersed yourself in the moment. Maybe it was a family dinner, a walk in nature, or a heartfelt conversation with a friend. How did it feel to be fully present? Now contrast that with the countless moments spent staring at a screen, half listening to the people around you, or missing the beauty of the world because you were too busy refreshing a feed. Turning off your phone isn't just about avoiding distraction. It's about giving yourself the gift of presence. It's about recognizing that life happens in the here and now, not in the digital ether. Turning off your phone can feel uncomfortable at first. The quiet can seem strange, and the urge to check for updates might be overwhelming. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes invaluable. The Stoics believed in embracing discomfort as a pathway to growth. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, stepping away from your phone, even when it feels countercultural or inconvenient, is an act of self-discipline and courage. It's a way of prioritizing what truly matters over the fleeting allure of notifications and likes. Disconnecting from your phone also opens the door to deeper, more meaningful connections with others. How many times have you been in a conversation where someone, or maybe even you, kept glancing at their phone? These small moments of disconnection can add up, creating distance in our relationships. By turning off your phone during meals, conversations, or quality time with loved ones, you signal that they have your full attention. This simple gesture can strengthen bonds, foster trust, and remind you of the joy that comes from genuine human connection. And it's not just about relationships with others, it's about the relationship you have with yourself. When was the last time you sat alone with your thoughts, free from the constant hum of digital distractions? The Stoics valued solitude and reflection as essential practices for a fulfilled life. Seneca encouraged us to withdraw into yourself as much as you can, advocating for moments of quiet introspection to better understand our values and priorities. Turning off your phone creates space for this kind of reflection, allowing you to reconnect with your goals, process your emotions, and simply breathe in the stillness. The benefits of unplugging go beyond the mental and emotional. They extend to your productivity and focus as well. Research shows that constant phone use fragments your attention, making it harder to concentrate and complete tasks efficiently. By setting boundaries around your phone use, such as designated no-phone zones or specific times for checking emails, you can reclaim your focus and approach your day with greater clarity and intention. Imagine how much more you could accomplish, and how much more fulfilled you'd feel, if your attention wasn't constantly pulled in a dozen directions. Of course, this isn't to say that phones are inherently bad. They are powerful tools that connect us, inform us, and help us navigate the world. The Stoics themselves were pragmatists, emphasizing balance and moderation in all things. The goal isn't to abandon technology, but to use it mindfully. Ask yourself, are you controlling your phone, or is it controlling you? By choosing when and how to engage with your device, you can harness its benefits without becoming a slave to its demands. So, try setting aside specific times each day to unplug, whether it's during meals, before bed, or while spending time with family. Create tech-free zones in your home, like the bedroom or dining room, where you can focus on rest and connection without the constant buzz of notifications. In a world that's always on, the act of turning off your phone is a radical statement of self-care and mindfulness. It's a reminder that your time and attention are precious resources, and how you spend them shapes the quality of your life. The Stoics taught that happiness comes from living in alignment with your values and focusing on what you can control. By choosing to disconnect, you honor these principles, creating space for presence, connection, and growth. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Turn off your phone, step into the present moment, and live the life that's happening right in front of you." 9. Take breaks and go on trips. We've all heard the saying, "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." While it might sound like a cliché, it rings especially true in today's fast-paced world where productivity often overshadows the need for rest. Many of us are so consumed by deadlines, routines, and the hustle of daily life that we forget the simple yet profound importance of stepping away, of taking breaks and giving ourselves permission to recharge. Whether it's a quick pause in your workday or a well-planned vacation, the act of rest is not an indulgence but a necessity. The Stoics, often celebrated for their resilience and focus, deeply valued balance in life. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, emphasized the importance of leisure, or odium, as the Romans called it. He wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This wisdom reminds us that stepping back to appreciate the moment is not only restorative, but essential for happiness and well-being. So, why do so many of us struggle to take breaks? Often it's because we've internalized the belief that productivity is the ultimate measure of success. We worry that stepping away from our responsibilities might make us seem lazy or uncommitted. But here's the truth. Rest is not the opposite of productivity. It's a vital component of it. Just as an athlete needs recovery time to perform at their best, our minds and bodies need breaks to function optimally. The Stoics understood this balance and would argue that it is through rest that we regain the focus and energy necessary to meet life's challenges head-on. Did you know that our brains are not wired to sustain intense focus for extended periods without rest? Studies show that after about 90 minutes of work, cognitive performance begins to decline. This is where the power of breaks comes in. By pausing for just 5 or 10 minutes, whether to stretch, take a walk, or simply breathe, you allow your brain to reset. These moments of pause are like hitting the refresh button on a computer, helping you return to your tasks with greater clarity and creativity. Research from the University of Illinois highlights that brief breaks during focused tasks not only reduce mental fatigue, but also improve overall performance. The Stoics, who prized mindfulness and presence, would see these moments of rest as opportunities to center ourselves and approach our work with renewed vigor. But what about something deeper, something more transformative like taking a vacation? In our fast-paced society, vacations are often seen as luxuries, but they are, in fact, essential for long-term well-being. A getaway, whether it's a weekend retreat or a longer trip, allows you to disconnect from the relentless demands of daily life. When you step away from your usual environment, you gain perspective, clarity, and a renewed sense of purpose. Studies published in the Journal of Happiness Studies have shown that vacations significantly boost happiness and reduce stress, with the benefits extending even after the trip ends. The Stoics, too, understood the importance of retreating from the chaos of life to reflect and recharge. Marcus Aurelius, as Roman emperor, often took breaks from his demanding duties, retreating into nature or solitude to restore his mind and spirit. These pauses were not acts of indulgence, but necessary moments to prepare himself for the challenges ahead. Taking a break doesn't mean shirking responsibility. It means equipping yourself to handle your responsibilities with greater focus and effectiveness. If you've been feeling overwhelmed or burned out, ask yourself, when was the last time you truly allowed yourself to rest? It could be as simple as a short walk to clear your head, or as ambitious as planning a vacation to a place that inspires you. Remember, the purpose of rest isn't to escape life, but to engage with it more fully. The Stoics believed that living in harmony with nature meant respecting your body's natural rhythms, which include periods of work and periods of renewal. If you're unsure where to start, consider weaving small breaks into your daily routine. Set a timer or reminder to step away from your desk every hour or two. Use this time to stretch, grab a glass of water, or simply sit in silence. These micro breaks may seem insignificant, but over time they accumulate into meaningful improvements in focus, mood, and energy. And don't wait until you're completely drained to plan a vacation. Even a short weekend trip can have profound effects on your well-being. You don't need to travel to far-off destinations to reap the benefits. A nearby nature reserve, a quiet cabin, or even a staycation can provide the mental reset you need. Vacations also offer something that daily breaks often cannot: the opportunity to broaden your perspective. Traveling exposes you to new cultures, ideas, and ways of thinking, enriching your understanding of the world and your place in it. The Stoics valued this kind of growth, believing that expanding one's mind was central to living a fulfilled life. As Seneca wrote, "Travel and change of place impart new vigor to the mind." By stepping outside of your usual environment, you not only rest but also grow, returning to your life with fresh insights and energy. Of course, not everyone has the luxury of frequent or lengthy vacations, and that's okay. The key is to make the most of the time you do have. Even short breaks, when taken mindfully, can be deeply restorative. The Stoics taught that it's not the length of time that matters, but the quality of your attention. A single moment of true rest, where you disconnect from distractions and focus on the present, can be as rejuvenating as a longer pause. Marcus Aurelius urged us to be content with what you have, but strive for excellence in all you do. This balance of gratitude and effort is the essence of living well, and it applies equally to how we approach rest and work. In conclusion, taking breaks and going on trips aren't just acts of self-care, they are acts of self-preservation and growth. The Stoics understood that a balanced life is a fulfilling life, one where work and rest coexist in harmony. By stepping back, whether for a few minutes or a few days, you give yourself the space to recharge, reflect, and re-engage with the world around you. Allow yourself that leisure, not just for the sake of relaxation, but to return to your life with the strength, clarity, and purpose that Stoic lessons encourage. 10. Hang out with friends and family. In the quest for happiness and success, we often overlook one of the most profound sources of fulfillment: our relationships with friends and family. Think about it. What truly makes life meaningful? Is it the accolades, the wealth, or the milestones we achieve alone? Or is it the laughter shared at the dinner table, the comfort of a friend who knows you deeply, or the memories created with loved ones? The Stoics, renowned for their wisdom on resilience and self-discipline, believed that human connection was central to a good life. Marcus Aurelius reflected in his Meditations, "Men exist for the sake of one another. Teach them then, or bear with them." This enduring message reminds us that relationships are not just a part of life, they are the essence of it. In the whirlwind of modern life, it's easy to let relationships take a back seat. Work deadlines, personal goals, and endless to-do lists often consume our time and energy, leaving little room for the people who matter most. We tell ourselves we'll catch up with old friends next month, call family over the weekend, or spend quality time with our children when things slow down. But as the Stoics taught, time is fleeting and uncertain, a principle known as memento mori. the reminder of our mortality. Life is happening now, and every moment spent postponing connection is a moment we can never reclaim. Relationships require attention and care, just like any meaningful pursuit, and the rewards they bring are immeasurable. Why are relationships so vital to happiness? For one, they provide a sense of belonging and support that no material success can replicate. Harvard's famous longitudinal study on happiness found that close relationships are the single most significant factor in a fulfilling life, far outweighing wealth or status. Those with strong social ties report lower stress, better health, and even greater longevity. This echoes Seneca's timeless observation: there is no enjoying the possession of anything valuable unless one has someone to share it with. Whether it's celebrating successes or weathering storms, having people by your side enriches every experience. Yet nurturing relationships takes effort, especially in today's digital age where distractions are constant. How often do we sit with loved ones, physically present but mentally scrolling through our phones or lost in thoughts about work? The Stoics would remind us to practice presence, being fully engaged in the moment. True connection comes not from proximity, but from genuine attention. When you're with a friend or family member, put the distractions aside. Listen to their stories, share your own, and appreciate the time you have together. These small acts of mindfulness deepen bonds and remind us of the beauty of connection. But relationships aren't always easy. Even with the people we love most, there will be moments of disagreement and frustration. The Stoics understood this complexity and offered a path through it: patience, empathy, and understanding. Marcus Aurelius urged himself to approach others with compassion, recognizing that everyone is doing their best with the knowledge and circumstances they have. This perspective doesn't mean tolerating mistreatment, but rather responding to challenges with grace. By fostering empathy, we strengthen our relationships and find peace in the face of conflict. There's also a profound joy in giving to others, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that humans are inherently social beings, designed to contribute to the well-being of those around us. Helping a friend through a tough time, sharing a meal with family, or even performing small acts of kindness can transform both the giver and the receiver. These moments create ripples of positivity that extend far beyond the immediate interaction, reinforcing the interconnectedness the Stoics held dear. As Epictetus said, "What is the fruit of these teachings? Only the most beautiful and proper harvest of the truly educated, tranquility, fearlessness, and freedom." Let's apply this wisdom in our daily lives. Start by making an intentional effort to prioritize the people who matter most. Reach out to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, plan a family gathering, or simply carve out time for meaningful conversations. These gestures don't have to be grand. What matters is showing up with sincerity and care. And when you do, be fully present. Resist the urge to multitask or rush through the interaction. Instead, focus on the connection, the laughter, or even the shared silence. These are the moments that anchor our lives and provide the richness we seek. It's also important to recognize that nurturing relationships benefits not only the other person but also ourselves. Time spent with loved ones reduces stress, improves mood, and fosters a sense of purpose. When we invest in others, we invest in our own well-being. This reciprocal nature of relationships is part of what makes them so powerful. They remind us that life's greatest joys are often found in the simplest acts of connection. Relationships are at the heart of a meaningful life, and their value cannot be overstated. The Stoics, with their emphasis on living in harmony with nature and embracing the present moment, understood that human connection is not a luxury, but a necessity. In the end, it's the people we share our lives with who give our days depth and color. So take a moment today to reach out, to listen, to laugh, and to love. As Seneca so beautifully said, life is long if you know how to use it. Use yours wisely by cherishing the people who make it truly worth living. 11. Help others out. Helping others is one of the simplest yet most profound ways to create a meaningful and fulfilling life. Whether it's offering a kind word, lending a hand, or supporting a cause, acts of generosity are more than just charitable gestures. They are the cornerstone of a life well lived. The Stoics, known for their wisdom on resilience and virtue, emphasize that contributing to the well-being of others is one of our highest duties. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees," reminding us that our well-being is deeply interconnected with the well-being of our community. Modern research echoes this wisdom, showing that helping others not only improves their lives, but also enhances our own happiness, reduces stress, and increases life satisfaction. In giving, we receive. But why does helping others have such a transformative impact? For one, it shifts our focus away from our own challenges, offering us a break from self-centered thinking. This doesn't mean our problems vanish, but it reframes them, often helping us realize they're not as overwhelming as they seem. Imagine a time when you supported a friend through a tough moment. Did you notice how it lightened their burden while simultaneously uplifting your spirit? That's the power of kindness. Studies show that acts of service trigger the release of dopamine and oxytocin, the feel-good chemicals that reduce stress and boost mood. Helping others is not just good for the soul, it's good for the brain and body as well. The Stoics believed that virtue, the highest good, lies in living in harmony with nature and practicing moral excellence, and few acts embody this more than helping others. They argued that while we can't control life's external events, we can always control how we respond, including how we choose to engage with the needs of others. When you help someone, whether it's through a significant act like volunteering or a small gesture like offering encouragement, you're exercising your own moral strength and aligning yourself with Stoic principles. Seneca often reflected on the beauty of small acts of kindness, writing that it is not the weight of the gift, but the kindness of the giver. This means that even the simplest acts done with sincerity can create profound ripples of positivity. Think about a moment when someone's kindness made a difference in your life. Perhaps it was a stranger helping you during a stressful day, a friend offering advice when you felt lost, or a colleague assisting you when you were overwhelmed. These moments, however small, stick with us, reminding us that we're not alone. Now imagine being that source of light for someone else. Helping others doesn't require grand gestures. It can be as simple as holding the door open, listening without judgment, or sending an encouraging text. These acts may seem minor, but to the recipient, they can mean the world. By being present and attentive to the needs of those around us, we contribute to a more compassionate and connected world. The beauty of helping others lies in its reciprocal nature. When you extend kindness, you create a bond not just with the recipient but also with yourself, reinforcing your sense of purpose and connection. The Stoics believed that service to others was a duty, not an option, stemming from our shared humanity. Epictetus reminded us, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." Helping others is a tangible way to live your values, turning abstract principles into actionable virtues. It's not about seeking recognition, but about doing what's right because it aligns with who you are and the world you want to create. Of course, helping others isn't always easy. Life's demands can make it hard to prioritize kindness, and sometimes, helping others can feel draining. The Stoics acknowledged this reality and emphasized the importance of balance. While we should strive to serve others, we must also take care of ourselves to avoid burnout. As the modern saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup. When you prioritize your own health and well-being, you're better equipped to support those around you. Self-care and service are not opposites, they're complementary. The stronger and more centered you are, the more impactful your kindness becomes. So how can you begin incorporating this Stoic lesson into your daily life? Start small and build from there. Look for opportunities in your everyday interactions to lend a helping hand. This might mean offering to carry a neighbor's groceries, listening intently when a friend needs to vent, or donating to a cause you believe in. The Stoics taught us to focus on what is within our control, and helping others is a perfect example. You may not be able to solve the world's biggest problems, but you can make a meaningful difference in someone's day, and that matters more than you might realize. Volunteering is another powerful way to engage with this principle. Whether you mentor a young professional, serve at a local food bank, or support an environmental initiative, giving your time and energy to a cause creates a sense of connection to something greater than yourself. Studies show that volunteering not only benefits the recipients but also enhances the volunteer's sense of purpose and community. It's a practice that aligns beautifully with the Stoic vision of living in harmony with others and contributing to the common good. Helping others also has a lasting ripple effect. When you extend kindness, you inspire others to do the same, creating a chain of positive actions that can spread far beyond your immediate circle. This interconnectedness is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on how each individual action contributes to the greater whole, urging us to act with the common good in mind. By choosing to help others, you set in motion a wave of generosity and compassion that can transform not just individual lives but entire communities. Helping others is not just an act of kindness, it's a way of living in alignment with the Stoic ideals of virtue, interconnectedness, and purpose. It enriches your life by fostering a sense of connection, reducing stress, and giving you a deeper understanding of what truly matters. As Marcus Aurelius so wisely put it, the fruit of this life is a good character and acts for the common good. By helping others, you cultivate that good character and contribute to a world where compassion and support are the norm. So today, look for opportunities to lend a hand, share a smile, or simply be present for someone who needs it. You might just find that in helping others, you're also helping yourself live a richer, more meaningful life. If you've made it this far, you're embracing the Stoic path to a happier, more fulfilling life. Drop a comment saying, "I choose happiness," to show your commitment to this journey of growth and wisdom. Stay with us. There's so much more to discover ahead. 12. Focus on the good stuff you've got. It's far too easy to fall into the trap of focusing on what you don't have, especially in today's world where comparison is everywhere. Whether it's scrolling through social media, hearing about a colleague's success, or simply reflecting on your own goals, there's always something that seems just out of reach: a better job, a bigger house, or the newest gadget. While ambition can drive progress, constantly dwelling on what's missing creates a cycle of dissatisfaction that robs us of the happiness we could be enjoying right now. This is where the Stoic philosophy of gratitude becomes a guiding light, teaching us to focus on the good we already have and find contentment in the present. As Seneca wisely said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This insight reminds us that true wealth lies not in acquiring more, but in appreciating what's already ours. Why is it so hard to focus on what we have? Our human brains are wired to notice gaps, what we lack rather than what we possess. This trait, useful for survival and improvement, can become a hindrance when it turns into perpetual discontent. Instead of appreciating our current blessings, we obsess over what's missing, leading to a constant sense of inadequacy. Practicing gratitude is the antidote to this mindset. Gratitude isn't just a fleeting emotion, it's a deliberate practice, a shift in focus from scarcity to abundance. Modern science agrees. Studies show that gratitude improves happiness, reduces stress, and even enhances physical health. Researchers at the University of California found that people who kept gratitude journals slept better, had fewer health complaints, and felt more optimistic. Gratitude, then, is not just a feel-good exercise. It's a proven strategy for living a happier, healthier life. The Stoics understood this long before modern science caught up. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflected on gratitude as a daily practice, appreciating even the simplest blessings in life. He wrote, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours. This is a profound reminder to stop longing for what's absent and start cherishing what's present. Imagine waking up each day and consciously acknowledging the good in your life, the warmth of your bed, the food on your table, the people who care for you. These small acts of mindfulness ground you in the present, allowing you to see the richness of life that's often overlooked. One powerful way to cultivate gratitude is through mindfulness. By slowing down and paying attention to the present moment, you'll begin to notice things you might otherwise take for granted. The sound of birds in the morning, the kindness of a stranger, or the laughter of a loved one. These moments, though small, are the threads that weave joy into our daily lives. Another effective practice is keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be grand. Sometimes it's the little things like a good cup of coffee or a meaningful conversation that make the biggest impact. Over time, this habit trains your brain to seek out the positive, reshaping how you perceive your life. Even during difficult times, gratitude can be a powerful tool. The Stoics taught that life's challenges are opportunities for growth, and that we can find reasons for gratitude even in adversity. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who faced slavery and hardship, famously said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding the silver linings. If you're dealing with a tough situation at work, gratitude might mean recognizing the lessons you're learning, the resilience you're building, or the support of colleagues who help you through it. Shifting your focus in this way doesn't erase challenges but makes them more manageable. Gratitude also strengthens relationships, a key factor in living a happy life. When you express appreciation for the people in your life, whether it's through a heartfelt thank you, a note, or simply acknowledging their efforts, you deepen your connection with them. Gratitude reminds us not to take our loved ones for granted and to value the joy they bring to our lives. Think about the last time someone genuinely thanked you for something. How did it make you feel? Now imagine giving that feeling to others through your own expressions of gratitude. It's a simple act that creates lasting bonds. The Stoics would also urge us to be grateful for the everyday conveniences that modern life provides. Running water, electricity, access to health care, and the ability to communicate instantly with people across the globe. These are luxuries that previous generations could only dream of. Acknowledging these blessings doesn't mean dismissing our ambitions or ignoring life's challenges. Instead, it gives us a foundation of contentment from which we can pursue our goals without falling into the trap of endless striving. As Seneca pointed out, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. Focusing on what you have doesn't mean giving up on improvement or ambition. The Stoics believed in striving to be the best version of ourselves, but they also cautioned against letting that drive turn into dissatisfaction. When you appreciate what you have, you create a stable platform of gratitude that allows you to pursue your goals with joy rather than desperation. It's the difference between chasing happiness and building it from within. The practice of gratitude is a simple yet transformative way to improve your well-being and align with the Stoic lessons of contentment and mindfulness. By focusing on the good stuff you've already got, you shift from a mindset of lack to one of abundance, discovering that happiness isn't found in what's missing, but in what's already here. Whether it's through mindfulness, journaling, or expressing appreciation to others, gratitude allows you to see the richness of life that exists right in front of you. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. In the end, the good stuff you have isn't just enough, it's everything. 13. Let go of grudges. Letting go of grudges is one of the most liberating and transformative things you can do for your happiness and well-being. Holding on to resentment, anger, or hurt might feel justified in the moment, but over time, it's like carrying a weight that only gets heavier, draining you emotionally, mentally, and even physically. While it's natural to feel upset when someone wrongs you, clinging to those feelings keeps you anchored to the past and prevents you from moving forward. The Stoics, with their emphasis on inner peace and emotional resilience, understood the importance of releasing negativity. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury," reminding us that holding on to anger gives power to those who hurt us. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is not about excusing someone's actions but about reclaiming your own peace by refusing to let their behavior dictate your emotions. Why is letting go of grudges so difficult? For many, holding on to anger feels like a shield, a way to protect ourselves from being hurt again. It can even feel like a form of justice, a way to keep the pain alive as a reminder of the wrongdoing. But in reality, grudges don't protect us. They trap us in a cycle of pain, forcing us to relive the hurt repeatedly. The Stoics would argue that by holding on to a grudge, you are allowing the person or situation that wronged you to continue occupying space in your mind and heart, robbing you of peace in the present. Epictetus wisely observed, "If someone speaks badly of you, do not defend yourself against the accusations, but reply, 'You obviously don't know me very well, or else you would have mentioned other faults of mine.'" This witty yet profound approach shows how Stoics focused on maintaining control over their reactions rather than being consumed by others' negativity. Science supports the Stoic view that letting go of grudges has immense benefits for your mental and physical health. Studies show that individuals who practice forgiveness experience lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. A study by the American Psychological Association found that letting go of resentment leads to improved relationships, better sleep, and even lower blood pressure. The act of forgiveness activates the brain's reward system, releasing feel-good chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin, which reduce stress and boost mood. Forgiveness, then, isn't just an emotional release. It's a proven tool for improving your overall well-being. The Stoics believed that forgiveness begins with understanding. Epictetus taught that people act based on their current knowledge and understanding of the world, which is often limited. This means that when someone wrongs you, it's rarely out of pure malice, but rather ignorance or fear. By recognizing this, you can approach their actions with compassion rather than anger. This doesn't mean condoning bad behavior. It means acknowledging that everyone, including you, is flawed and prone to mistakes. When you start to see others as human, it becomes easier to let go of the resentment that binds you to their actions. Letting go of a grudge is a process, and it starts with acknowledging your feelings. Suppressing anger or pretending it doesn't exist won't help. It will only cause those emotions to fester. Instead, take time to reflect on what happened and why it hurt you. What are you holding on to, and is it serving you? Are those feelings helping you grow or keeping you stuck in a cycle of negativity? The Stoics believed that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. Letting go of a grudge is an act of self-discipline and strength, a choice to prioritize your peace over past pain. Empathy is another powerful tool for releasing grudges. While you don't have to agree with or justify someone's actions, trying to understand their perspective can help soften your anger. As the Stoics taught, many people act out of fear, ignorance, or their own unresolved struggles. By stepping into their shoes, you may find that their actions were less about you and more about their own limitations. This doesn't excuse what they did, but it can help you see them as human rather than as the source of your pain. This shift in perspective can make forgiveness feel less like letting them off the hook and more like freeing yourself from their influence. Forgiveness is rarely a one-time event. It's often a journey that requires patience and effort. You may find that feelings of resentment resurface, especially when reminded of the hurtful event or person. When this happens, the Stoics would advise you to practice mindfulness and remind yourself why you're choosing to let go. Each time you consciously release those feelings, you strengthen your ability to move forward. Over time, the grip of the grudge weakens, and you'll find it easier to focus on the present rather than being pulled back into the past. Letting go of grudges also improves your relationships. Carrying resentment creates barriers, even with people who had nothing to do with the original hurt. When you hold on to anger, it colors your interactions with others, making it harder to build trust and connection. By releasing grudges, you create space for love, kindness, and understanding to flourish in your relationships. You become more patient, more open, and more capable of deepening your bonds with those who matter most. Letting go of grudges is about maintaining your inner peace. The Stoics taught that true peace comes from within, from how you choose to respond to life's challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By releasing grudges, you elevate the quality of your thoughts and reclaim the energy that was once tied up in anger and resentment. You're no longer defined by what happened to you, but by how you choose to move forward." In conclusion, releasing grudges is a gift you give to yourself. It's not about excusing the past, but about refusing to let it control your present or future. The Stoics, with their wisdom on forgiveness and emotional mastery, remind us that letting go of anger is an act of strength, not weakness. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." By forgiving and moving on, you free yourself to live a life of peace, happiness, and growth. Remember, forgiveness is a process, and it takes time. But with each step you take toward letting go, you reclaim your power and open the door to a more fulfilling life.